Yeehaw! If you know what's good for you, happy Independence Day, and welcome to another installment of Monday Night Live, aka the Hangout Stream, but also known as the Chill Stream, baby. As we tap into the celestial energy of our 1776 ancestry for this July 4th, 2022, brought to you by yours truly, the man, broadcasting from behind the curtain. You know who I am. Because if you don't know by now, you can visit www.livefreeliverich.com or simply Google this name and you can find out. Now, for those of you who already know, welcome to the show. Go ahead, drop me a comment, say hello. Like I always say, there's no need to be shy. I just like to know who took the time to stop by. And for those of you who don't know, because perhaps you're new, that's okay too, because I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you. You see, as far as I'm concerned, this is your show, and I'm just here to fill the role of producer. So I come on here 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's 6 p.m. Pacific, every Monday night, and I boot up this live stream so we all can come together, readers and writers alike, and you guys supply me with things to talk about. And in return, I fulfill my role and I raise awareness for various projects from around the underground scene. I become acquainted with you, you get to know me, and together we discover what's going down within the realm of independent publishing. Which brings me right into my first segment of the night, where I like to shine a spotlight on some books that are currently available or coming soon to an online marketplace near you. So, without further ado, this first one's coming in hot from Twitter. Philip Meese writes, "For this weekend only, The Presence is free to download on Kindle." Well, that was way back in May, but that's okay, because we're going to go ahead and give Philip a shout out anyway. He says, "This is her house, and she doesn't take kindly to guests." Ooh. Let's see what this one is all about. If you guys have a book on the market or coming soon to the market, and you'd like your work mentioned on a live stream, you can go ahead and drop me a comment, get in contact with me anytime. I post on my social media accounts and say hi. That's all I really need is a link to the book or the title and the pen name of the author. Now, this one is The Presence by Philip Meese. Let's check it out. Here's the blurb. "This is her house, and she doesn't take kindly to guests. Being a disbeliever in the paranormal, Kate Thorpe has no qualms about accepting the job of live-in manager at Blackmore Hall, the supposedly haunted 14th century mansion in the heart of Lancashire. After moving her family into the house, Kate starts to think of ways she can use the legend of the ghost of Jane Weston, who was burned as a witch in Elizabethan times, to turn Blackmore Hall into a profitable business. Shortly after moving in, each member of the family have experiences they cannot explain: doors slamming, electrical appliances tampered with, and Kate's baby daughter pointing and laughing at seemingly empty spaces. The constant feeling that someone is watching them, particularly in Blackmore Hall's seemingly endless corridors, is undeniable, but that's just the start. And their experiences soon become more terrifying. When a celebrity medium makes contact with the ghost during the filming of a televised show, she reveals that Jane Weston has not only attempted to murder one of her children, but intends to try again and kill Kate as well. As events unfold, it becomes clear that an evil ghost is not the only set of eyes watching their everyday movement within the house, and leads those that are still alive to question whose intentions are more sinister. The Presence is a British ghost story set in Lancashire, England, but it is far from your typical haunted house novel. In addition to an evil spirit with a vendetta against the young family and seemingly unlimited supernatural powers, another presence inside the house is watching their every move. And that is The Presence by Philip Meese. For those of you who are interested in horror stories with a supernatural focus, perhaps this might be right up your alley. I will say that the blurb was just a tad too long, if I'm to be quite frank. And I feel like you gave away maybe just a little bit too much of the story that could have been left to reader discovery. You know, I think if you were just selling this as, you know, a haunted ghost story, and then maybe slightly allude to the idea that there's something more than it just being a ghost story, instead of just outright kind of basically giving away the twist. But nonetheless, this one comes in at 485 pages, so pretty long for a horror story. Ghost thrillers, paranormal suspense. Very nice. All right, and we have a new first for the Monday live stream. That is a children's book coming from Twitter. We have Stephanie Lisa Terra, and she writes, "Aw, tiny baby turtle finds her mama." And then we have some extra star points here to talk about. We have gorgeous watercolors. Oh, these are quotes. Gorgeous watercolors from Kirkus. Achingly Sweet from Huff P. Captivates from the New York Times. Rhythm Onomatopoeia from PW. Courageous from SF Gate. Tranquil from ALA or ALA. Serenades from NGO, and Bravo from the WWF. That's the new WWF, not the World Wrestling Federation, I presume. So let's check it out. This is a longer one here. I'll Follow the Moon. This is the 10th anniversary collector's edition paperback by Stephanie Lisa Terra with illustrations by Lee Edward Foti. I thought it was important to definitely credit the illustrator, seeing as how children's books are usually heavy with illustrations. I wasn't quite sure if this was independent work or not. The publisher just says it's Stephanie Lisa Terra Children's Books, so I assume that's her own company. So we're going to go ahead and give it a shout. Because some of you out there may have children, and you know, it's not something that gets talked about very often, children's books. Won't someone think of the children? It's a nice looking cover. All right. I'll Follow the Moon, 10th anniversary collector's edition by Stephanie Lisa Terra, illustrated by Lee Edward Foti. Here's the blurb. Well, I guess there's a lot in here. Here's the ad, I should say. Over 2 million copies sold. Double gold medalist begins simple in baby sea turtle's voice. Double gold medalist begins simply in a baby sea turtle's voice. I'm coming, Mama. I'll see you soon. I know just how. I'll follow the moon. Celebrating the love between mother and child comes an achingly beautiful story that has captured hearts around the world. Written by a new mom by accident when she sang a little song to her fussing newborn. I'll Follow the Moon proudly donates proceeds to charity. Every book saves a turtle. Aw, well, isn't that sweet? And if you know anything about this name, I mean, it's not a coincidence. It's actually a known fact. Anybody with this name likes turtles. True statement. Look. Let's see if I can fit it in the frame here. See? It's true. I like turtles. And if you look and see, he's got the same haircut as me. You handsome little devil. I'm going to go ahead and sit his ass down over there. That is, I'll Follow the Moon. It's cool to get, like I say, a variety of projects from around the underground scene. Underground scene, see, there's a lot of something. Don't get it twisted. There's no. I don't want you to fall prey to the stigma of the underground scene. That the underground scene is nothing but grimy and gritty. No, sometimes it's, you know, it can be sweet. It can be sweet. All right. Who's up next? Looks like another one from Twitter. This one comes from a user by the name of Passion for Words. She's just sharing a link to her poetry. So let's check it out. You notice I do say check it out a lot. And this is called Reflections, Poems to Feed the Soul, paperback by Melissa Maynard. All right. Reflections, Poems to Feed the Soul by Melissa Maynard. Here's the blurb. It's just a short one. It says, a collection of beautiful poems guaranteed to touch your heart and soul. The perfect read. Sit back, grab a copy, and enjoy the journey. Relax, feed your soul. And that's it. We're coming in. This is Amazon has it categorized under motivational self-help poetry. It's a short one, 30 pages. You can read it for free on Kindle Unlimited. Now we got one more book to cover, and then we'll get into announcements. I hope you guys can hear the fireworks in the background. It'd be a good ambient noise, appropriate for tonight's live stream. This one comes from Joy James on Twitter. Joy writes, I write children's. Oh, so look at that. We go from no children's books to 2 children's books in one stream. Joy writes, I write children's nonfiction and am currently working on a Black Inventors series for different age groups. Here's one of my books. She shares the link. Let's check it out. And this one is called 101 Black Inventors and Their Inventions by Joy James. Here's the blurb. Come and meet 101 of the world's greatest Black inventors, ranging from superb scientists to incredible innovators, to exciting entrepreneurs who changed the face of technology and design. 101 Black Inventors and Their Inventions introduces you to 101 groundbreaking historical and modern-day Black inventors. This beautifully illustrated book will take you on a journey illustrated. I don't see any credit for the illustrator. Maybe Joy James illustrated. Maybe it's self-illustrated. This beautifully illustrated book will take you on a journey to discover the lives of these inspirational inventors and how they came to impact the world with their unique ideas. From Gerald Lawson's home video game console that led to the Xbox and PlayStation, to Annie Malone's hair care products, which led her to become a millionaire. Read and be amazed at just how much these real-life superheroes achieved in the face of adversity and, at times, discrimination, paving the way for future generations. Delve into 101 Black inventors and their inventions and have a think about what inventions you might like to invent. It's a longer one, 231 pages, targeted age groups 9 to 12 years, children's inspirational and personal growth. So 2 children's books. Now, for all you jive turkeys out there who like to talk the talk and spread negativity, you're going to have to speak up, because it's hard for me to hear you when you choose to take a seat at the back of the bus. You like to say things like, what? Systematic. What? Systemic. What? Well, wiggity well. Would you have a look at what we have here? Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty. Free at last. You know what I see, don't you? I see 100. I said I see 101 reasons to feel inspired to get up off your black ass and go make something of yourself, or just make something, period. And just say no to drugs, kids. But hey, who am I to tell you people what to do? Because as the old saying goes, whether you think you can't or think you can, you're probably correct, my friend. But hey, don't take my word for it. Joy's the one who wrote the book. So maybe you should purchase it. Take a look. Maybe you'll learn a thing or two. And that's about all I got to say about that one. Moving right along. And now I'm going to go ahead, boot, scoot, and boogie right into my next segment of the night, which is where I make announcements. These announcements could be anything from projects that you have, like for instance, if you have a Kickstarter project that you would like to raise awareness for, like a fundraiser type of deal. It also doesn't have to be writing related specifically either. It could also be reading related, like if you're on Booktube and you're hosting a readathon or a read-along event. I could make that announcement for you as well. And some other ideas would be like if you are an independent publisher or a small press and you have a submission call, I'll cover that as well. And for tonight, we have something new that I think I'm going to be doing from here on out, so I don't like earlier in the stream, miss out on special deals that authors are presenting to you guys. And that is book deals. So if you have a book deal, like for instance, like if your book is free or whatever for a limited time only, or in tonight's case, we have from Aaron Beardsell. He says coffin wood, and I don't know if this is in honor of, well, just in time for our Independence Day celebration. He says his book Coffin Wood is 50% off specifically in the US of A. So he goes on to write, Hazel Byrnham is investigating occult anomalies in the forests of Australia, so down under. People are missing, bodies are piling up, and monsters lurk in the woods. Coffin Wood is an interconnected anthology of 15 horror stories. Interconnected. Wonder if he means like a almost like a short story mosaic, or if it's all different authors. Oh, this is all, no, this is just, it's all Beardsell. And this is Coffin Wood, Cosmic Folk Horror by Aaron Beardsell. We'll go ahead and do this one some justice, seeing as how he's putting it on sale, and we'll go ahead, we'll read the blurb on this one too. Do him a solid. Horror lurks in lonely places. Deep beneath the mountains, the hive grows. Hazel Burnham and her team are investigating occult anomalies in the dark forests of Western Australia. People are missing, dead bodies are piling up, and ancient monsters lurk in the woods. Only she can solve the mystery festering at the heart of Coffin Wood. But as her hometown slips into madness, Hazel may already be too late to stop the evil growing beneath the hills. Whatever is down there, it is hungry. A cult is rising to power on twisted promises, and they'll stop at nothing to achieve their goals. If Hazel can't defeat them, she knows that they will open the gate. Welcome to Coffin Wood. So just a little bit more about the book itself. He goes on to say in the blurb, experience the downfall of Coffin Wood through this spider web of 15 interconnected horror tales. This collection of terrifying stories blends genres together, including cosmic, folk, military, and body horror. See, that's why he calls it anthology, because I know a lot of people will say an anthology is a book that features works by many different artists or writers, and normally more often than not, that is the case. But if you actually look up the word anthology, anthology can also be a book that has a collection of works by a single artist, and usually it's because the works themselves come in a variety of some sort, whether it be a variety of genre or a variety of different types of works. In other words, a collection of essays and stories or novellas and so on and so forth. If it's a variety, if the book contains a variety of something, then whether it be artists or works, typically it's referred to as an anthology. If it was just like, say, just a bunch, if it was just, say, I don't know. I mean, you could call it that, or you could just call it a collection to make it less confusing for people. But I don't know. I don't never see it as a big deal. Some are heroes, some are monsters, all are prey. And then it goes on. There's some praise. There's some quotes for the book. Let's see. This one comes in at 164 pages. And you can read that for free on Kindle Unlimited. Or buy it 50% off if you're in the USA. Coffinwood. All right, just a couple housekeeping announcements here. While I'm on the topic of announcements, making good time tonight. First and foremost, I'd like to make everyone aware of the LFLR network on Discord. If you guys are watching this video, I got the link right in the description. Just do yourself a solid, really. If you are a creator of any sort, whether it be a reader and you do Booktube, or you are a blogger as well. If you're a blogger, and this is a pretty big deal, because I was talking a little. I had a post on Twitter where I was talking about this, and I feel like there's well, anyways, just go ahead, join the Discord, and on the Discord, so there's ways when you want to share whatever new project that you're working on, or event, or fundraiser, or announcement, what have you. There's different spots. There's different channels on the Discord server. So whenever you want to just share a link, you can do so right from the Discord server. I don't have any crazy expectations of you at all. I really don't have any expectations whatsoever. When you join the Discord, you can chat in the Discord if you want, or you don't have to. I mean, technically, I would prefer most of the engagement that revolves around this, what we're doing here, to be on my social medias, because I mean, that was part of my thing going into this, is trying to boost a little bit more engagement. And in the meantime, I get to become acquainted with those of you guys that are actively involved in the creative sphere. But what the Discord allows is that you can join in, and I can kind of keep like a head count of like who has been active on, whether it be on the live stream or just in general across my social medias. And there's a place in there for you guys to just share your stuff. And that's what I want you to use the Discord for. Just share your stuff. And I share, and if you don't have, and it's also a hub for all my projects as well. So if you don't have Twitter, in other words, you don't follow me on Twitter, you don't have to have a Twitter account to stay updated with what it is that I have going on, or if you miss live streams, or the playbacks, or any videos that I put out, to stay updated with what it is that I'm working on as far as my projects. So join the Discord, and yeah, it's easy and takes like 2 seconds. And what I was going to say is, for people who are readers and you want to start getting a little bit, you want to up your game, you want to, read, you want to become almost like get your feet wet as like a content creator, but you're not really interested in starting a YouTube channel, I suggest one thing that you could do is start a blog. And you could do that for free, actually, and that would get you into beginning to create your own content, if you will. And if you every time you read a book, you can write an editorial blog post and kind of like begin to grow your own platform. that way. So say, for instance, down the road, if you ever decide to become a writer and you want to write, you want to write something that you would like to publish, then you would already have somewhat of an established name or have built a little bit of a following through your blog, and where you have written editorials about books that you've read. And I made a post about this on Twitter, and I think that one tool that a lot of people aren't aware of is Goodreads. And a lot of people dunk on Goodreads about how it's such a shitty platform all around. It's kind of a joke in terms of book reviews and this and that. Say what you will about Goodreads. There's an audience there. There's a market there. It's a platform. There's a lot of people on Goodreads. And there are tools available for writers on Goodreads. So, for instance, one tool that I utilize on Goodreads is embedding book reviews. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. You can I'm pretty sure you can embed your own posts on web pages. So if you start your blog, one method of marketing is if you start a blog, right, and you read books and you write editorials. This is exactly what I do. I go on Goodreads and I'll post a shortened, kind of spoiler-free version of my book review on Goodreads. But then at the bottom of that review, of each review, there's a link that will bring people to my blog where I actually have a full breakdown editorial. The average is over 1,000 words written on whatever book that I've read recently. And I've been doing this specifically for the independent market. And I refer to it as my indie breakdown series for those of you who aren't familiar. So that's one way that you can actually kind of draw some traffic from the Goodreads platform to your own website. So that's one method. Another thing that you can do is embed reviews. So whenever you release a product, so this is like on all my short stories that I have available on Amazon on the marketplace, they all have their own separate individual page on my website. And underneath, I can actually embed the top reviews or whatever reviews from Goodreads on the website. So and you may ask yourself, why would I do this? Well, I feel like I've only had, I'm a pretty obscure writer. So there's not, there's really not a lot of people from the Goodreads camp that would know about my work. But I feel like if people were to see that on the website, it's almost like, I feel like it's kind of like an auto suggestion, if you will. It's almost like a little incentivizer to kind of participate and leave a review, because if you kind of see where I'm going here with what I said before, if you write your own editorials and you see that, well, if somebody leaves a review on one of my stories, they can then, in that Goodreads review of my story, they can leave a link to their own blog that people can then go to. And that is, whoever's visiting my website can see that. You see where I'm going with this? And it's like coming up with these creative ways of being able to build these networks that aren't so heavily reliant on mainstream social media platforms. So hence building a little bit of independence, if you catch my drift. So now finished. That's what I want to say about that. Let me also, speaking of networking, just another quick announcement. I'd like to say that now is the time. Now is the time. Don't hesitate to book a room, as they say, at the Hotel del SS. What's the Hotel del SS, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. The Hotel del SS is the hotel for the Storytellers Society. If you go to the website, livefreeliverich.com, you can click on entertainment. You can see the Storytellers Society, and that is a project that I'm doing in coordination with the LFLR network to create an opportunity for writers, you writers out there that are looking to pick up, smaller little projects that you can do to kind of, create some marketing juice, if you will, and collaborate, reach out and collaborate and build reputation and work with other creators, work with me specifically and my brand, and and network that way. And all you have to do, I'm looking for flash fiction. It can also be vignettes type prose, short prose around 1,500 words. Could be as short as 500 words, but no longer than 2,000 words. And submit that. And what I do is once you submit it, I take care of it from there, and I do all the marketing myself. I've got a whole plan. And down the road, what I plan to do with this project is turn it into, morph it into, well, for one, everyone that is approved, everyone's writing that is approved gets published. And it's free to read, public access, and you will get the link to where your work is published, and everyone can see it. And I will do the marketing to try and get more eyeballs on your work, and you will get your own room at the Hotel del SS, which is essentially your own dedicated page to all the contributions that you've made to the Storytellers Society. And why would you want to contribute more than once, you may ask? Well, anytime that you have a new project coming out, you got a new book coming out on release, you could make a contribution to the Storytellers Society. And if approved, then it will, I'll publish it on the blog and then blast it out there on social medias and kind of build a little hype around your name and give you a little marketing juice, if you will, before, in anticipation of, your newest release. You can give me a cover letter. You can include a short little cover letter, like in bio, author's bio as well, which I will also publish on the website. So that's the Hotel del SS. And like I say, down the road, what I'm looking to do is kind of turn this two things. I'm looking to do one, in the immediate future, I'm looking to maybe turn this, I might hire some artists, like some voice artists or something like that. I might turn this into kind of like a web series kind of deal, a web series thing. And further down the road, it may be book deals. It may turn into like anthology type projects, but with multiple authors under the project name. And if I do that, then there may be financial compensation for those of you who have participated and contributed to the project. If your piece is selected for the project, that is. And then way, way down the road, where my vision is taking me, and this might be a little bit ambitious of me to say, but hell, it's Independence Day. Let's dream a little, shall we? And I'm thinking that I might see where this could lead into film. This project could lead into film. I'm not talking Hollywood. I don't do Hollywood, but like independent film, to see adaptations of you guys' stories or scenes brought to life. You know, I think that that would be really cool and really fun, and something that I might be interested in, you know, getting connected with the right people and maybe seeing if I can't make that a reality. That's all I want to say on that. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and boot, scoot, and boogie right into our final segment of the night. Where I read some contributions or some works that you guys have shared with me for the live stream specifically. Now, these could be works of poetry, flash fiction, essays, editorials, or articles from your own personal blog. So if you want to get a shout out for your blog, this is another way of being able to do that. Some other things that I might read, for instance, in the past streams, I've also covered, say, I'll read the first episode of your Kindle Vella. Could do something like that as well. So this first one is an article called How to Get Over, let me pull up the video. How to Get Over Letting Yourself Down. Let's bring up the reading. So coming from Annette Murray, she says, with her website, her blog, thedramafreeclub.com. She writes, there are times when we know we've completely missed the mark. During these moments, we can become highly critical of our actions. Here's how to get over letting yourself down. Or perhaps beating yourself up. All right. The Drama Free Club. We all have expectations that we require of ourselves. They may be challenging to varying degrees depending on what our goals are. What seems like major accomplishments for others may very well be a major slip up for some of us. There are times when we know we've completely missed the mark. During these moments, we can become highly critical of ourselves. Instead of patting ourselves on the shoulder, we find ourselves spiraling downwards. Have you had moments where you felt that you didn't meet your expectations? I mean, that goes without saying. Others may be proud of what you've done, but you know deep within yourself that you were nowhere close to your best shot. I've been there. Today, I want to share with you some tips that will help you to pull yourself up when you feel as if you've completely let yourself down. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, boy. Number 1, you won't always be on your A game. Life doesn't work on our terms. We don't always get to put things exactly where we want them to go. There will be times when it seems everything is working out in our favor, but there are also times when it feels as if the entire universe is working the opposite direction. Life is filled with the unexpected. There are times when it drops a big shocker in the middle of a blissful moment. You won't always be in control of everything that life throws your way. You can only do what you can do. That last statement. That's kind of like saying, it is what it is. To be or not to be. Number 2, find out where you're going wrong. I remember how frustrated I was when my blog wasn't performing up to par. I went back to the drawing board, read a few tips from pro bloggers, and implemented some of their strategies. Today, I'm getting much better results than when I started. Well, good for you. You may not own a blog, but you're probably working on something else that isn't producing the results you need. One of the best ways to improve on anything that isn't working out as expected is to find out where you're going wrong. I'm listening. Maybe you have limited knowledge and experience in what you're doing. You don't have a solid plan or a backup plan. You aren't patient enough, etc. Hence, the results you're getting are far less than expected. Once you determine where you're going wrong and what you can do better, see, once the English voice, once the British voice or English voice starts coming out in me, that's when I can tell that I am reading something quite preachy. Once you determine where you're going wrong and what you can do better, you'll be able to improve on what you didn't do the last time and seize the opportunity of getting better results going forward. Number 3, focus more on finding solutions. You'll find yourself stuck in a rut if you give all your attention to your problems. You're not helping yourself when you beat up on yourself and drag yourself down. Talking changes nothing if the right actions aren't implemented. That I agree. Try to focus more on workable solutions that will help you to move forward. Reach out to those who can offer useful help. Switch things up a bit if you have to. Number 4, be prepared. The same way you'd study for an exam to get a good grade, or travel with an umbrella when the weather reporter says it's going to rain, nothing beats preparation. Life is about making preparations. As they say, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Life is always happening. It won't take you by surprise all the time if you prepare for it. Number 5, don't settle for less than you're worth. When you have no idea what you want out of life, you'll settle for just about anything that comes your way. Many people find themselves settling for mediocrity because it requires very little sacrifice from them. We call them normies. That wasn't in the article, I just ad-libbed that. You know the reasons why you have the goals you have for yourself. Don't allow anyone to make you settle for less than you know you're capable of doing. They may not see the big deal in what you're trying to accomplish, because people will always measure you with their yardstick. Keep it in your pants. They will see you no further than they see themselves. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll remain where you've always been. Go figure. You have to keep going after what you want in life. See, this article right here reads very much. I've read a lot of them, trust me. But this article right here reads very much like an SEO type article. It's not exactly a content is king type of article, I have to say. No offense, but I'm not getting a whole hell of a lot of substance out of this. Just saying. Number 6, remind yourself of your priorities. You must be willing to show up for yourself. It's easy to get sunken by the weight of all that's happening around you. But once you're reminded of your priorities and what they mean to you, you'll try harder to rise above your circumstances. There are days when you'll feel totally out of place, but those are the times when you'll have to double your efforts, chip chip cheerio, and keep doing what you need to do. Number 7, it's okay to fail. You're going to mess up. You're going to fail. You'll sometimes make yourself look stupid for doing the same thing again and again. It's all part of being human. We are perfectly imperfect. I don't like that statement. No one gets it right all the time. Use your failures as learning curves to pilot your way forward. Thank you very much for reading. I greatly appreciate your precious time. Life is sometimes a roller coaster of emotions, isn't it? I'd love to hear from you. How do you get over letting yourself down? I almost said booze, but technically I actually haven't had a drink since the last time I had a drink was back in 2019. So I guess I can't really say that. Plus, it probably wouldn't be too appropriate, seeing as how earlier in the show wouldn't be too family friendly. We had 2 children's books, and then I also told the kids to say no to drugs. But hey, a glass a day keeps the doctor at bay. And that's all I got to say about that one. But I'm not promoting underage drinking. That would be bad. All right, that was a quick one. We got a little bit of time. We're still under an hour. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do one more. Let's do another reading. I'll do one more for tonight and then call it a wrap. No videos, but if you do have a video, the last segment is where I would share any featured videos that you guys would like me to watch. And these videos, much like the articles and such, could be videos of poetry readings that you guys do, or it could be storytelling in various forms. So in other words, like if you have a web series like you do, it could just be you reading a story, or it could be like a web series, like a screenplay, almost type of like enactment type stuff, like for instance, like a web series, or it could be an animated thing. It could be stand-up comedy. Like you could do bits, skits, or sketches that you would like me to watch, and I'll watch them live on the stream, and you can kind of gauge my reaction as I watch them for the first time. That would be fun. I've yet to get anything like that on the live stream. No music, though. I don't want to do any music because YouTube is just weird when it comes to music. What else could you do? Tag videos. I might do something like that if it's appropriate on the stream. I'll try to play along if I can. Oh yeah, and that was the other big one. If you simply have a book trailer, if you've made how I feature people's books on the show, if you've made a book trailer for one of your books, that is a second way that you can kind of get your book a shout out on, get your work mentioned on the live stream. So book trailers. Just keep that in mind. I want you to, this show is something that, I'm doing for you guys. So it's just something that I almost wish that more people did this, around the creative sphere. And so you guys, this is kind of like I'm providing a free resource for you guys to utilize. That's kind of been my vision with this from the get-go here. So here we go. This one from Vincent Van Zandvoort. He writes, read my poetry, prose, and short fiction because it's all free. You can help me by spreading the word, liking, following, leaving a comment, becoming a member, or supporting me by buying me a $1 coffee. In any case, much love. And, thanks for contributing. to the live stream, and we'll see. We have selected The Last Winter by Vincent Van Zandvoort via his Buy Me a Coffee page at buymeacoffee.com/Vincent Van Zand 1. I know it's summertime. That's probably winter is probably the last thing you guys want to hear about right now, but nevertheless, it could be taken as more of a symbolic winter in a symbolic sense, if you catch my drift. All right, Last Winter starts out with a quote. When loneliness calls, emptiness falls like a warm blanket over your cold thoughts. That was his quote. I shut the door to my home as I sink down into my own nothingness. Emptiness never just comes to your home. It brings its friend loneliness and leaves the two of you alone. Winter will nest inside your soul. The sun will vanish. Fiery hate will be the only thing keeping you warm. It'll burn holes in your faith, in all that you crave and love, until it is far too late. As I managed to stumble to my kitchen to pour myself some tea, I noticed that I was talking to myself again, and the tea turned cold. If you hang on, you'll see the fire will not burn. If you hang on, you'll realize that you're here to learn. Hang on until the little birds start singing and innocently declare to us that spring is coming. The wheel is turning. It lures the loneliness away. After caging you for what seemed to be forever, summer is on its way to once again bring heat to the heart and to the mind, to guide the blind. It teaches the legless to walk and the speechless to talk. Nevertheless, she won't last forever. Summer is a temporary show. As I walk inside the outside world, I feel a million eyes staring me down. A few quick lessons to watch and learn before winter sets in once again with its illusionary burn. But now you'll see the cycle, the wheel that's in spin, the ghosts that are among you. They belong inside the bin. It's getting colder, slowly but surely. Hope is in the last thing to die, and the first thing on the mind, legless flying, screaming blind. As I shut my door once again, I grab my loneliness blanket and crawl back into bed. This time, winter will not die. The lessons learned will remain between myself and I. That was Last Winter by Vincent Van Zandvoort. If you want to show him support, you can follow the link, buy him a coffee for $1. Thanks for contributing. I have to say, I like the rhyme scheme on that, and also the content of that piece struck me as very red-pilled, if you will. Almost like a man reflecting upon his memories and just coming to terms with reality. That's the live stream for me this week, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, for those of you who know what's good for you, happy Independence Day. And I'll see all of you next week. Peace out.